Hello to all of you wonderful moms out there. This is episode 98 of Achieve Your Ambitious Mom Life. I'm your host, Anoki Kapasi, and I'm here to empower you with life planning tools so you can envision, plan, and take action on your big ideas while prioritizing family. I'm so glad that you're here today. I want you to grab your coffee, take a breath, and let's make these next few minutes really count. Because have you ever looked at your calendar and thought, well, gosh, there isn't even 5 minutes of time for me? And maybe when you've closed your laptop, it's like you're closing the door on your dreams as well, because all of a sudden dinner and homework and logistics, those are taking precedence, and you feel late for those basic things already. I know what it's like to feel like that, especially when you think you don't have enough time to look for or pursue a better career opportunity. If a career change or upskilling or a pivot is in your heart, but your schedule keeps telling you, well, not today, honey, then this episode is for you. I'm sharing some simple life planning tips that are going to help you take strategic action in the time that you already have, so you can finally move towards the career that you want without sacrificing what matters most to you. So if you're ready to reclaim that schedule of yours, protect your focus time for all that career development that's ahead of you, and to take small, strategic steps towards your next chapter, then let's dive in and start turning your ideal life into your real life. Are you looking for a way to blend success and motherhood without losing sight of who you are? I get it. I've been there too. Hi, I'm Anoki, a PhD researcher, business owner, and homeschooling mom of 2 boys. As your life coach, I help moms like you create a life you love at home and at work. If you're ready to stop feeling overwhelmed, overscheduled, and overlooked, and want a clear roadmap to a balanced life, a meaningful career, and finally feeling like yourself again while being the awesome mama that you are, you're in the right place. In this journey to create the life you truly desire, it's time to rediscover your dreams and achieve your ambitious mom life. Before we get started, I want to remind you that I would love to hear from you. This podcast is all about figuring things out together. So if you have a burning question about balancing your ambitions and motherhood, well, I'm here to help with Figure It Out Fridays, our mini episodes where I answer your questions. Send me your questions through the links in the show notes, leave me a voice memo on our contact page, or email me directly at hello@solveformom.com. I promise to bring my experience, support, and evidence-based answers to help you navigate your ambitious mom life. Here's what's happening. Your days are jam-packed with endless to-do lists. You have unfinished tasks in the horizon, and your schedules have so many conflicts with them. How can you be at 2 places at once? You're managing pickups and projects and your partner's calendar, and the idea of planning a career change feels just like there's one more thing that's going to be on your plate now, and there is no possible way that you can fit it in. You just can't even imagine the idea right now. But the problem is that underneath all of that chaos, there is this quiet ache that's in you, because it's this pattern that you've been experiencing for quite a while now. It's where you've been putting your goals on the back burner, but what you really want is to prioritize your dreams, to regain control of your day in a way that allows you to blend that success that you're seeking and motherhood. I found myself in the same situation before, and it's something that I am routinely coaching my clients through as well. So I've been there. I've stared at the same color-coded calendar, and somehow I found a block that works for everyone else, but I don't have any blocks marked out for me. I start convincing myself, well, I'll just do it next month, because surely next month can't be as busy and cluttered as my calendar looks for this month. But then, soon after, I have this tugging feeling that I'm starting to lose that accomplished version of myself that I have really come to know and love. Now, we all know that it's not right for moms to have to choose between growing in their careers and their family. But I want to point out that the real issue isn't that you have no time. It's actually a culture of thinking that life happens to you, that you don't have a say in your life. And I'm actually going to be providing you in today's episode with the mindset shifts and simple life planning tools that are going to help end this problem for you once and for all. My life planning approach is how I've helped other high-achieving moms align themselves with a clear vision and in a way that works with the real-world constraints that they're experiencing. I'm able to help them turn their time into consistent momentum so that they can have some open space, maybe to pause, and also to grow without sacrificing their family and things that matter to them at home. So, like I said, the shift that we're going to be making today is to move from saying things to yourself like, I don't have enough time, to then saying, I get to choose how I'm going to spend my time. I want my time to serve my goals. When you decide your next best step and you give a home on your calendar to those goals, then your schedule actually stops being this sort of gatekeeper and it actually becomes an opportunity for you to grow. It's a tool for growth because then every time block in there is slated for something that really matters to you. So this is how you're going to get into the driver's seat of your life and you get to call the shots of what you do and don't have to do. Now, I'm actually going through a challenging period. I've been dealing with some tragedies in my extended family, but it also happened to coincide with a time when I had actually planned to make these major career decisions. I was going to take on some major projects in both my business and scientific consulting. And so I was faced with some professional decisions, but then had to navigate also providing support to my family. And because of using the mindset and life planning tools that I'm going to share with you today, I was able to modulate my time in order to turn my work on and off depending on where I needed to be, what role I needed to be in. I was able to make myself available for my family by both being there physically and emotionally, which, to me, that is really priceless. But I was also able to choose which projects I wanted to take on or which ones I needed to defer. So I was fully in control of my time and I didn't have any guilt for taking time off when I needed to. And I wasn't really stressing about whether I was or wasn't making any progress. And so this is what it means to be the CEO of your life and to have total freedom. It starts with a mindset shift and some basic life planning tools that anyone can master. So I'm going to be sharing 3 ways that you can turn being stagnant because you feel like you have no time into actual momentum. And the first way is a mental reframe. It's where you stop telling yourself that you don't have time and you start seeing your day as a series of choices that you get to make. You are in control of how you're going to spend your time throughout the day. On one end of this, it's actually a shift in language, right? That alone is going to help start bringing some agency back into your day. And the reason that this works is because you're no longer framing every time block on your calendar as a threat, and you're turning it as a choice. It's an opportunity for you to do something that you want to do. The more you do this, it's going to start becoming a habit, right? When you see your time and you see your schedule as a choice, that mental behavior, that shift is going to be a habit. And the more you do it, it's going to lead to consistency. And of course, that also means that you are more likely to follow through with things. When I have a time block and I start saying, hey, this is not an obligation, this is actually an opportunity for me, it feels like this little reward, and I'm priming myself for something cool that's going to happen. Every time you block in time that is meant for something that you want to do, it's going to feel like a reward, something that you're going to look forward to, and that you see yourself as getting to do something. So how do you do this? First, you need to catch yourself when you start telling yourself that you don't have enough time, and then flip the script. When you hear the words, I don't have enough time, then say out loud, like actually verbalize it, and say things like, I choose to spend my time, and then fill in the blank. If you want, you can even use sticky notes, either physical paper or something on your phone. Now, the other thing is that you might be thinking, well, I don't have any time blocks available for me to dedicate to myself. So in that case, I would say just look for a really small window of time. Maybe it's just 10 minutes even. And take that, and even if it's a tiny little block on your calendar, it's still time that you've marked out for you. Take that and use that time to advance your career in some way. There are micro actions that you can take. So for example, maybe you can say, hey, I'm going to draft 3 resume bullet points, or I'm going to send 1 LinkedIn message, or I'm going to skim the course module, or outline 3 interviews. These are really simple things that you can do in the span of minutes, right? And a variation on this is to take an existing time block, and you might have dedicated most of that time block for something else related to work, let's say. But in there, you can add 1 or 2 bullet points of these kinds of micro actions that are only going to take a couple of minutes. So at least it's in there for you. A second way that you can manage this time constraint issue is to run some sort of assessment or reality check for your goals. So a good pacing for this, if you've never done this, is quarterly. So what is a quarterly reality check? It's basically a simple strategic planning method. It's where you can turn your goals into very concrete, feasible steps. To go about doing this, you first need to know what this professional vision of yours is, or career goal, some sort of outcome that you'd like to shoot for. Essentially something that you could work on over the course of the next 12 weeks. So for example, maybe you want to complete a professional certification program. After you've identified your career goal, then you actually have to do the reality check part of it. And it's basically like a feasibility assessment. So you have to look at the constraints and resources. These are things like, what are your open windows of time? What are your different energy patterns throughout the days and weeks? How much can you invest to finance this goal? And do you have the support structure in place to achieve this goal? What are the things that are going to make this possible, and what are your constraints and parameters? Continuing with the certification example, maybe you have 2 30-minute early morning slots on Tuesdays and Thursdays. See how specific I'm being? Those are the times when maybe you plan to complete the program. Let's say you have a limited budget, whatever value you define, maybe even free, and so you're going to look for very low-cost options in order to complete this goal. And then after that, you actually want to take the action. So what we're really talking about is just one or a couple of first steps that you're going to need to do in order to make progress on this goal. So for example, maybe your first step in the certification goal of yours is to find a free or low budget certification program that you can actually make progress on 30 minutes at a time. And then after that, maybe you're going to review the different options, look at the curriculums, look at the reviews and things that will help you choose which program to actually register for, and make sure you have the finances and the support structure in place before you enroll in it. So those are just very easy, small steps that you can take towards that goal. The reason this works is because it's constraint-led planning. It's going to force your plans to be very doable and not very vague and dreamy, I guess, for lack of a better word. Right? It's rooted in reality, all of the craziness and chaos of our mom lives. And it's also really cool because it reduces your decision fatigue. You're not making a decision every day, what goal am I going to work on? You only have to make that decision once for the entire quarter and then chip away at it throughout that 12-week period. This is how you take a goal, something big, like being certified in something professionally, and turning it into very tangible, measurable actions. So before I get to the third way, I just want to emphasize that I really hope you can stop putting your career dreams on the back burner. I really want you to stop believing that you don't have enough time, and I want you to start leaning into all of the life planning tools that I've been providing you on the show. Because these life planning tools that I've been offering are specifically designed for high-achieving women like you, for moms who have to deal with the reality of managing many things in their lives, both at home and at work. So I'm going to help you map out a clear plan that honors both your ambitions and your family. You can have clarity about every direction, your role as a mom, your personal and professional goals, and your long-term vision, where you want to be years from now. You're going to manage your time in a way that's going to help you feel like yourself again, and you're going to have confidence in your daily decisions that are going to help you move you towards that successful version of yourself. So if that sounds awesome to you, then I want you to go right now to the show notes and schedule your free alignment audit call with me so that we can get this whole thing going. All right, let's do it. And the third way that I'm going to share today is to do a time alignment. And this is where you start taking your goals and your life plan and infusing it into your schedule. Doing this is going to feel very low resistance and very pro-family because you're using your life plan as the basis for this. So for now, I'm going to keep it simple and just focus on sharing some useful tips for time alignment. So there's a couple pieces of information that you're going to need for this. Take a piece of paper and maybe mark off 3 columns. I like to do this in a spreadsheet, but you can basically do it anywhere where you can track 3 columns. The first column is for your pillars, all of the roles that you show up. for family, as a mom, career, other roles that you have. And then the second column is going to be the amount of time that you want to spend per week on that particular role. Now you can adjust it if it's something that makes more sense to define by day or monthly or whatever. And the third column is for the specific tasks that you have to fulfill that particular role every week. So you're going to have the role, the time, and the tasks. And then that is what you use to create your time blocks, okay? They should appear on your calendar with that information. And if you want to have a lot more detail where I really break down my time blocking method, then make sure you click on episode 61, which I have linked in the show notes. Now, a pro tip is to use a color-coded calendar so that each pillar is going to be a different color that shows up on your calendar. So it's really easy for you to determine which type of task you're going to have to address at that time. And also, you're going to want to place your anchors first. So these are like your priorities. You're also going to want to place your time block where you're going to work on your career change and professional development at a point in the day where you're energetically most available. And don't forget to use the focus funnel, which I've talked about many times before. And this is where you're going to determine whether each task should be eliminated, delegated, automated, or executed. So the thing that makes time alignment so powerful is that you are taking that roadmap that you built, your life plan, which incorporates things like your vision and your values and your purpose and your passions and all of these things, and it's infused into your schedule. And that is why it feels very low resistance, because it's working with you and who you are. Also, it uses a visual prioritization method so that you can see if your week matches your values even before the week happens, right? Because each of your roles are color-coded. The way you mark off your time blocks allows you to understand the intention for that time and makes it easier for you to implement it, because you know that if it's 7 a.m. on a Tuesday morning, for example, you're going to be working on interviews for your new job, and having that information is going to increase your chance that you're going to be able to take action at that time. Also, not only are you reducing the amount of task switching that you do, which is a very important benefit of time blocking, but with time alignment, you also reducing the amount of guilt, because when you're using that time to work on shifting towards a new career, you don't have to feel guilty because you know later in the day you have time marked off for you to spend time with your kids or whatever else you have to show up for. You don't have to sit there and stress over that type of stuff anymore. So those are 3 really powerful ways that you can start making progress towards your career change. It's going to drive a lot of action. You're going to feel momentum and even this coherence towards feeling like you're working towards your next chapter, and you're even modeling it for your kids, right? You're going to feel the progress, and you're no longer going to feel trapped by your schedule. Without life planning tools like this, your weeks are going to continue to feel like a blur, and your calendar is going to fill up all on its own, and you're going to feel like you have no say in how you spend your time. Your career change just stays a tab that you never open, right? You keep telling yourself, well, after the holidays or after the quarter or after the summer, but eventually a year passes and you have no proof that your time is being served towards your goals. Remember, 3 really powerful tools for you to use in making progress towards your career change are having a mental reframe so that you stop saying that you don't have time and you start putting yourself back into the driver's seat of how you spend your time. 2, you make progress on your goals by doing a strategic quarterly reality check and taking action. And 3, start aligning your time with your life plan. So today's micro homework is going to be one of the easiest things you've ever done, and I'd actually really like you to do this today, like as soon as this episode ends. Find a Post-it note and write down, I choose how my time serves me. And then put it somewhere very prominent that you can see and feel inspired by. So thanks for listening, friend. Keep choosing how your time is going to serve your career goals. And I want you to go and achieve that ambitious mom life. I hope today's episode will help you create time and freedom to pursue something you love to do. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe and tell other purpose-driven mamas about it. Who knows? You might even make a new friend by sharing a tip. It's all free. By the way, it would be amazing to hear what you think about the show when you leave a review on Apple Podcasts. After all, my passion is to make this a great experience for you. I'll see you next week for another episode of Achieve Your Ambitious Mom Life with Anoki Kapasi.